Hey guys, we're Mayday Parade, and our new EP, Out of Here, comes out October 16th. Check it out.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Yeah,
been pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're happy to be together right now, and everyone's healthy and happy and just excited to still be able to play music in 2020. It's been a crazy couple months for sure, especially because we're used to sticking at things and going at things pretty hard and pretty consistently over the last 15 years, and so to have tours and plans postponed and pushed back and straight up just canceled is difficult, especially not knowing when where the end of that is all going to be and when we're going to be able to get back to it. But in the meantime, we're just trying to do what we can and keep on trucking.
And it was a slow realization as well of we're not going to do the spring tour,
Right.
And then we're not going to be able to do our fall tour. So it just kind of, we realize over time we're going to have to kind of come up with different ways to get our music out and be a little bit more inventive and, just kind of get through this period of time.
I know for me, it's just been nice to have, like a legitimate break at home is sort of the silver lining of all of this, where, in the last 15 years, I think that's the longest that we've ever been home at one time. So that's been, it's kind of nice. It's something that normally you're like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to, every now and then just be home for like several months at a time. So it was good to just be able to spend time with family and, focus on some other things, but you also, of course, miss being together and going on tour and all that. So
There was also a lot of things I wanted to do, but I couldn't do because of COVID.
Because of what?
COVID.
COVID?
Yeah.
You're meant to be home. You're not really meant to go places.
A lot of times we're either in the studio or we're on tour during the summer. So, and more recently, I've moved much closer to the beach. So I've gotten a lot of time to do that this summer, which is nice, and just kind of like tidy up loose ends at home, working on house stuff and that kind of thing. And, music in between as well.
It's something that I'm sometimes thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an important message. I don't know that like I would go back and do anything any differently, but because I think that I mean, you learn from your mistakes and from going through bad experiences, and but I think just the idea of not getting weighed down by the negativity is sort of an important message and something to keep in mind, I suppose. I think for me, that's a yes. I don't know if that's like, hits the nail on the head for everybody, but I think that's yeah. I think I mostly kind of live by that. I'm probably maybe like...
He might be the most hardcore that direction.
Right. I'm maybe kind of the most like carefree maybe or whatever person in the band. But yeah, I
think it's hard to speak up for yourself sometimes, but sometimes you have to.
We come through 2020.
Play music again.
Right.
People are okay and we can find a cure for this thing or
right. Yeah.
some sort of answer.
Yeah, I think as a band, I mean, we're just hoping that all this kind of shapes up the best way that it possibly can, and that we can, get back to doing what we love, whenever that all makes sense. I think that's probably, as a band, our biggest hope.
Our biggest hope, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a kind thing to say, and thank you. We didn't for this only because these songs were actually recorded, or I guess at least written before all the current craziness of 2020 happened. we were in fact recording some of these songs on the EP in early March of this year, when everything kind of first started to break, as you know, as far as COVID-19 goes. And but so yeah, it wasn't like we meant for that to correlate, but I think that you know, that's just kind of how it works out sometimes. And I think these songs do kind of relate to some of the current environments, and that's just kind of the way it happened.
Time to get music out.
Yeah, we need to release some material, and we're kind of just sitting on. We were actually recording this material, like Jack was saying, before, you know, everything went down. So the plan was to release it and start putting out new music and get a record together, as well as maybe singles like this. We decided to put this together as an EP. And we plan to continue working on new music during this time, because it's a great period to just be creative, because we can't actually be on the road.
"23-year-old self."
That's tough, actually.
If you knew then what you know now.
I think it would be more like just do what you believe in, follow your heart kind of thing. We got in some situations, you know, later on down the road in certain records where we were listening to other people. We weren't actually doing what we wanted to do. And I feel like it took us some time to figure that out. But once we did, we were on the same page and we were much happier as a band. So I would say something like that.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't tell 23-year-old me very much. I'd just be like, you'll figure it out. Just do it.
And 23-year-old, you know, is different, right? For all of us too, because that was such a big pivotal time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but right there in that ballpark, you know, of like young 20s, you know, I guess if I was thinking like 21 when we got signed, we learned a lot, you know, and we were able to navigate through some of those things. But like Jake said, yeah, we did run into some close calls. You know, it's just maybe the biggest thing would be like reaching out and not thinking you know everything, and trying to get advice from peers, and as well, you know, people who have been in the industry longer than you have, or whatever industry that is you're going into, even if it's not music. You know, just kind of like looking up and to people for advice on the right path. Because at 23, you really don't know everything, even though you think you do.
You don't.
That's a bingo.
You don't. Meow.
Thanks for having us. Meow meow.